time of recording. But that time has now changed, and Maidstone United do have themselves another point at Meadowbank for the first time in 4 years, Nigel. Maidstone come here and don't lose. Your thoughts, Nigel? We were expecting fireworks. We certainly got them for that game this evening.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was your proverbial game of 2 hours as well, wasn't it? And, we said at half-time, it all looked down and out, didn't it? It looked doom and gloom. Reece Bridges getting sent off midway through that first half, but they battled well second half, Maidstone. I think they did really well. I mean, you wouldn't have known there was a numerical difference there. Maidstone definitely were the team on top, created the better chances, and that sparkle of a goal from Aaron Blair, doing what Aaron Blair does.
It was a rocket, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Fired
rocket,
it in across him there, so all the firework puns that you can shake an undercooked hot dog at. Good performance from the Stones all round. It was literally that 10 minutes after Reece went off at the end of the first half, is where Dorking capitalised. The only real time in the game, Nigel, you could say that Dorking were on top. A lot of people have complained about George's side sometimes and how they don't dominate games for too long of a match. But I think it's a genuine argument. You can probably say 80 of the 90 minutes tonight, the Stones were probably the side on top.
Yeah.
And were unlucky, potentially, even not to win the game with 10 men.
Yeah, they certainly were. I mean, our Dorking play, don't you? They've got their certain patterns, and there was times there, especially in the first half, where that high press that Maidstone were doing was definitely troubling folks in the Dorking goal. And then there was that high ball back pass that he kind of struggled with. He came out for it. He realised that he couldn't actually pick it up, and if I think it was Blairing coming on it, or with the clearance, if his touch would have been good, he'd been able to lob the keeper, but it just eluded him at that time. But there was certainly some loose play from Dorking in that game as well. Yes. A lot of the balls that they were trying to do weren't coming off, and the touch just wasn't there. And I'd say the work rate for Maidstone that second half was really, really good. I mean, there was a couple of passages of play where they was on the attack, they lost the ball, but by the time the player had got up to the edge of their own penalty area, you had 4, 5, 6 men all tracked back behind the ball. So it was a really good performance. I mean, it's not the 3 points that we wanted, because we do need to start climbing that table, because I don't think our position in the table reflects the performances that we're putting in at the moment. But keep playing that way, and I'm sure they'll come. It's you're just going through those results this evening. There's a lot of draws in there, and a lot of the teams that were top of the table have lost to lower position teams. So it's so compacted, and
getting notably clapped off the players there for the Maidstone fans down to our left-hand side as the discotheque carries on. Fagan and Benton with a fist pump for one another. They will be happy with the night's work. They'll be pleased in a way that they've managed to show the fight with the man disadvantage this evening. It shows the character of this side, and that unbeaten run since the C word. It's been 2 months in the league now that Maidstone haven't lost. I know a lot of people would have said, a lot of that's been from cup games and this, that and the other. The FA Cup has gone now. Not last season, obviously, but this season. So the FA Cup has gone. So the Stones will have the league to concentrate on. I know people aren't going to want to say blessing in disguise and all that nonsense. Everybody wants the cup for as long as possible. But the Stones are now able to concentrate and keep that run going. And the fact that they've not slid to a third defeat in a row, in a week, all on the road, when the Stones had such an impressive away record up until Welling last week, I think it's going to be quite the tonic for the Stones. I mean, we said last week after Welling, if there's a game that you want to lose, you would probably say the Welling one. Clearly the Solihull one would be the one you want to win, but not losing here at a ground that we've had such a bad record at, I don't think it's the worst result in the world for the Stones, is it? It still keeps that momentum going for them.
That's what that's what George has been saying recently in his interviews, isn't he? We take our points. Quite frankly, when we was 1-0 down after 40 minutes there with the red card, you just snapped your hand off for a point, wouldn't you? So, Yeah, it's good. It's good. You know, it sets us up nicely now to, you know, we've got that monkey off our back with the home win. We've got that in our last home game against Hemel Hempstead, so we can go there with full of confidence against Hornchurch on Saturday, and hopefully continue this upward momentum that we seem to have got behind us now.
Hornchurch themselves, of course, with a 1-0 home win against Hemel Hempstead this evening. Eastbourne Borough beat Welling 4-1. Torquay, our opponents in a week's time, won 1-0 at Salisbury. Slough 3, Bath 0. St Albans, Chelmsford, Truro, Chippenham, Weston, Weymouth. All 6 of them drew 1-1, not with each other, but you get the idea. And Worthing 2, Aveley 1. So the Stones still in 17th, 7 clear of the drop, and 8 points off the last playoff position that's held by Dorking. Like we said at the top of the show, Maidstone 8 points off the playoffs with 3 games in hand. They win all of those, theoretically they'd be inside the playoffs. Like you said, Nigel, it's not a game in hand tonight, it's a full fixture schedule, but the Stones have managed to keep in touch. It's a lot further than they would want, but by not losing tonight, showing that resilience, you know, they've put themselves in a position where they can get a couple of wins on the bounce. Because I can't remember the stats off the top of my head, but I'm fairly doubtful the Stones have won 2 league games back to back this season. If they have, correct me later on and at me, of course, but I don't think they've won games back to back this season in the league. So I think these next 2 games, Hornchurch and Torquay, I mean, realistically, you'd probably say, oh, be happy with 4 points from that, but like you've been saying, we're almost a third of the way through the season now. We need to start getting back-to-back wins. We need to get 7 out of 9, 8 out of 12.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the next target now. I mean, and George has openly said as well in the local press, and Bill said it in his programme notes a few weeks ago, that, you know, we are still looking for players. We're still looking for strikers, you know, potentially, you know, cover at centre-back positions. You know, any player that becomes available now that's going to potentially improve the squad, I'm sure we'll be looking at. You know, it's all the signs are there. You know, the team's really starting to gel now. Again, there's some lovely patterns of play there, and to come to a side like Dorking and boss the game, not boss the game, but, you know, comfortable in possession, and, you know, Dorking are notorious for like keeping possession and getting the territory and
saw that a lot this evening, didn't we? Where they played it along the back line and Maidstone's high press. Yeah. Even with a man disadvantage, they did very well with that this evening, didn't they?
We couldn't really get that domination that they're used to. So, you know, and we were saying it throughout the evening. Maidstone were well in this game. I mean, yes, they conceded that first goal straight after the red card, but, you know, you're still in the game at that point, isn't he? You know, they could have easily folded and gone 2 down, and then, you know, you're chasing the game. But they stuck to their tactics. They stuck to their game plan. And you said it on commentary there. You know, maybe, you know, the red card wasn't such a bad thing, because, you know, it didn't really. The forward players would still be able to play as a forward player. All it meant was Charlie Seaman was able to get back, and he had to go back into that traditional right back position.
Still saw Brooks,
but that pace that he's got, extra pace, kind of helped him at times, didn't they? With that ball over the top of that through ball, he was able to cover that. Whereas Greenwich is more of a sort of like a headed player. You know, he is comfortable on the ball, but, you know, he's more of your, you know, up and under sort of player, isn't he? So,
and he saw it obviously release Brooks on this near side to us down this left hand side for that assist for Blair's Rocket that got the Stones the point. So,
absolutely, yeah.
You know,
so
one door closes, another one opens.
Exactly. So, you know, George Farrell going back into that centre back position. We said it before, that's probably his more natural position, because he reads the game so well, so he can just mop up all those like 50-50 chances. And we saw that there, you know, in the second half. You know, there was that ball was bouncing around, but it was him that came along and mopped it up, just cleared it out first. You know, so yeah, all in all, it's a good team performance, I think, and. So, you know, keeps that unbeaten record in the league intact and sets us up nicely for the weekend, I think.
It does indeed, Nigel. And I am actually hearing that Donald Trump has declared victory and the polls are still open in America. That's a strange man, isn't he? But, well, I'm declaring, at least, that Maidstone were the winners by a landslide tonight, regardless of the fact that it was 1-1. We will see you in our next preview video ahead of Saturday's game. Fred and Nigel will guide you through that one admirably on Saturday. We have been Sean Skerr and Nigel Seeger. Thank you for your company. God bless the United States of America. And as always, Nigel,
Come on, you Stones!
Good night, folks.